I'm here today with my Sterling Ink Common Planner to show you all my fall syllabus. Like many other people, I really enjoy the fresh start back to school energy even though I'm not a student anymore, and I enjoy using it to theme and plan out my own self-study. So I did some brainstorming on this page about what my current priorities are. One of my friends has recently started reading the Jane Austen books for the first time, so I've decided it's a great time to reread them. I'm also still working on my Japanese study, and if you're interested in seeing my language journal where I track what I'm working on, you can look at this video here. Now, I do have a larger self-study structure, a sort of bigger comprehensive syllabus that I've been drawing on, and I've been meaning to make a video about this for a while, so sorry I keep mentioning this and teasing it and then not actually showing it to you. But this DIY MLS stands for Do-It-Yourself Master of Liberal Studies. This is what I'm seeing as my own personalized postgraduate self-study, where I fill in all the gaps in my education that I didn't get when I was in school. One of which being an enormous oversight in African history and Middle Eastern history, among other things. So I've recently started reading this book, Ancient Africa, and there are several others on my reading list. I'm still working on organizing my larger syllabus, but I will kind of show you at some point how I have it all broken down into modules. And at least initially, I do have a pretty strong focus on world history. But I was brainstorming other general priorities, even if they aren't things that I focus on this month, and of course I would like to read more from my TBR shelf, my to-be-read list. I want to continue tracking my language studies. I want to continue taking notes in my commonplace book, which is related to the DIY MLS program. I want to do a little bit of thinking about what some study sessions would look like and when I would do them and where. This one says, make a mock class schedule for fun. I think that's self-explanatory. Develop modules for study. This isn't something I'm going to be strict with, it's just to kind of inspire me. I do want to sit down and make a list of everything on my TBR so I can sift through it and remove anything that doesn't speak to me anymore. And I want to just get back in the habit of reading more often and turning to reading as a thing that I do. Like when I was a kid and I got home from school and I was having a snack after school, I was always reading a book. And now I'm watching YouTube and looking at other visual media, and it's a lot easier to get sucked into that. And I think I feel calmer and also more engaged with my own mind when I'm reading more than when I'm watching visual media. So I just want to start making this shift. I continue the brainstorming on this page with what a syllabus might look like or what kind of important things it might include for me. And this might be a schedule of electives and classes or daily topics, a self-study schedule. I want to keep refining my reading list. What are my priorities to read right now? Curate ASMR study rooms means that I want to revisit my playlist where I've saved a bunch of ambient background things I put up on a screen in the background while I study. This was sort of an option. I considered maybe establishing themes for days, weeks, or months, and then I sort of broke down what some options would be, what that might look like. Would it be by month? Would it be by week of the month? Would it be by day? Or would it be themed by a particular subject? This timetable list is just an attempt to remind me of how much usable time there really is in a day. Obviously, this is not all time that I would dedicate to it, but this sort of reminds me, like if I had a slow start to the morning and I feel like there's no usable time left in the day, I can pinpoint where I am in the schedule and say, no, actually there's quite a lot of usable time in the day. I made this list of sample classes just to write out some of the things I was interested in studying, from some pretty broad subjects like history, literature, poetry, to some much more specific ones, sometimes focusing on specific pieces of media that are kind of near the top of my priority list. And some of these are priorities just because of practical considerations, like the fact that I could get it sooner from my library. I I created this general list of modules, sort of breaking down my immediate priorities into some specific tasks. So this means separating the book I'm reading by chapters. This modules and assignments page is basically a syllabus with no due dates. The idea is that I'm just going to go through and check it off when I do it. And in fact, I have already done some of these, so I can check them off right now. I'm using these Sailor Shikiori brush pens. Now I have to decide if I want to fill in the box or if I want to check off the box. I think I want to fill in the box. I can always check it off again later. Okay, so I read the first 3 chapters. And I reread Sense and Sensibility. And I reread Northing or App. I've been sort of stalled in my Japanese language learning. I've been going through like 1 half-hour lesson a week or every 2 weeks. So I'm going through it really slowly. I want to get back in the habit of trying to do it every day. It's also so much more effective to try to do that spaced repetition system when you are reinforcing it more frequently. So hopefully I will check these off soon. And then I wasn't sure what to give myself for a writing goal, so I decided to focus just on tracking my words. So this is just an invitation to check in at the end of every week and just self-report how much actually got done. And then I can say, yay, you did the week, you finished the week, good job. Technically, week 1 has already passed, and I did write 0. But I have been writing this week, so I will have some words to report pretty soon. I did get some ghosting on the back of this page because I used a really thick felt tip. So I do regret that I didn't think to put these pages on opposite sides with stickers here and this written out here, but oh well. I wrote this out just to kind of calm myself so I don't try to bite off too much at once. This gives me something to kind of put in that future parking lot. And then I wanted to use up stickers, I wanted some nice visuals, and I just wanted some kind of theme transition before I turn the page into the next bit of journaling or whatever I do next. It all depends on how quickly I get through it, but once I've worked through most of this, then I'll feel pretty confident about making a new set. And I will also point out that there is one small practical reason why I am using these themes. It's because each of them requires a different notebook to track, so there's not going to be a risk that I'll be taking overlapping notes. I'm taking notes for this in my commonplace book. I'm writing my book reviews here in my Sterling ink. I have a language study notes journal. And I have a writing journal, and of course I'm just drafting in a place that's totally separate from this. So having these distinct themes means that I'm not likely to run into the issue where I'm flipping back and forth between notes for this book and another book. And speaking of these, I will flip back. These stickers are from Creating & Co. She specializes in bookish stickers in particular. I love these really cute journaling stickers here. So I wrote a page on Sense and Sensibility, I wrote a page on Northanger Abbey, and I left 1 blank page per book plus an extra in case I need to spill over. So those are my self-study plans for the next couple of months. If you enjoyed this enough to watch to the end, then consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.